right, in a previous video, we defined what depression is, but how did we get there? You know, for some of us, it's a cause that really is beyond our control. For some of us, it could be in some part genetic. Now, the National Institute of Mental Health has identified a gene that in that mutation of that gene actually causes an 80% shortfall in what we call serotonin in the brain. Serotonin is what keeps us from being depressed. So some of us have a genetic predisposition or a genetic vulnerability by having this gene that depression could more likely be a reality for us. But because you have that particular mutation in that gene does not mean you're going to be depressed. And that would also mean that even if you don't have that mutation, many of those people do find themselves depressed. But don't be surprised if you're dealing with depression on a fairly regular basis, these major episodes or this lingering heaviness, it is a possibility if you look back in your family line, you're going to see some consistency to that end. Another gene called the 5-HTT is linked to the onset of clinical depression and brings about traumatic results. So the first thing I want to say to you, there is a stigma, as soon as you use the word mental health, those two words together, there is a stigma right away. It doesn't make you less than. It doesn't mean you're incomplete. It means possibly you got some hereditary predisposition to depression, and because you do, you find yourself having to deal with it. This is called endogenous. A genetic, hereditary type of predisposition. So beyond that as a cause of depression, which is a possibility, is also the psychological, environmental, and the biological causes of depression. Moving, losing a job, bankruptcy, relational issues, losing a loved one, dealing with heavy conflicts in life, having a heavy workload, a heavy academic load, a low self-esteem, issues of guilt and shame and remorse, and a lot of the things we talk about in the God Issues section of Life Points. Well, sexual issues contributed to this as well. These are just some of the causes. So the first thing I want to say to you as we go through these videos, don't get down on yourself. You're already down, I know, but don't get down on yourself because there could be a genetic issue going on here, but it's not like we can't deal with it. So let's forge ahead. Let's learn, let's grow, and let's find out what the answers are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, the scripture says in Psalm 139, and God knew your name before you were ever born. I have a feeling he can help us navigate some of these issues that we're dealing with because he's a lot bigger than they are, and we need some help from the outside to get us out of this depression. Let's check it out as we go through these videos.